about what's happening to him. But I don't think that's really in our lives. What I think is in our lives more is kind of a feeling of, I'm just getting by, I'm managing, it's blah. Now, it's not depression. I'm not talking about depression. But I don't have any energy. I just sit there and go through the motions. My life is boring. Coming to Mass is boring. Prayer, well, it pretty much isn't. Because life, and we have these moods, you have these times when things just don't seem to make sense to us. And I wonder, how do we get out of those feelings that we have? I think it's, if we look at how Paul lived and how Jesus lived, I think we can find a hint. Paul himself describes himself as being driven. But he was driven to be with people and to meet people. If you pick up a Bible and open up the front, sometimes you'll have a map of the journeys of Paul. The man was indomitable. He went anywhere and everywhere to preach the Word of God. He was meeting people wherever they were. He was becoming, like he said, for the weak you become weak, for the strong you become strong. One other place he says, I go in their door to bring them out my door. But his energy was always up because of the people he met. Because it was in meeting these people that he met Christ. I think that scene with him being blinded and God speaking to him, Jesus speaking to him, saying, Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? Rang in his ears for the rest of his life. He saw Christ in everyone. And that gave him the energy he needed to fulfill the obligation he had assumed. And so we too, I think, can take heed of that. And to find, when we're down like that, to try and spend time with friends, try and spend time with other people. And maybe sometimes spend some time with those who are in need. Now, you're not exposed to a lot of poverty here on the campus. But you are oftentimes exposed to people who are struggling. And sometimes, it's just, maybe it's time to go spend some time with them. To give them an ear, give them some strength, give them a sense of hope. Give them more than what Job got. Finally, we take a look at Christ in one day that Mark describes it. He begins his day like you are today. He's gathered in the temple to pray, the synagogue. And after his group prayer, he comes to have a meal with his friends. And he comes in the house, and the mother-in-law's sick, and he doesn't say anything. He just takes her hand and enlivens her. Just by his touch, she's enlivened. And then they spend, I think, the next couple hours probably visiting, eating. And then when the meal was over, all those people. He was first with friends at prayer, at friends at table. Now he is meeting new friends, meeting new people who are in their brokenness in need of healing. And he reaches out to them, hour after hour. And it's there that he finds his Father, his energy. These people are his brothers and sisters. They carry him. And then in the morning, after a few hours sleep, he needs to pray. And so he tries to sneak off and has but a little time because everybody's following after him. But in the time, in the quiet, he speaks to his Father. He re-energizes himself. And that's the purpose of prayer, I think. Prayer is to re-energize us for the battle, as it were. Why are we here? So that we can leave and carry Christ with us. That's the whole point. Go, the Mass is ended. Go and serve the Lord. Those are the final messages you get every week. Why do we come here? To be transformed so that we can go out those doors and share that transformation. Private prayer is the same thing. Private prayer should lead us to other people. Lead us to those who are the ones who most need our help. I think if we try to recognize this need to be with people, we'll begin to see how we escape those feelings of ennui, if you want to call it that, or just not belonging, not doing much. Stay with people, and you will meet Jesus. And when you meet Jesus, you will be energized.